What's going on, guys? My name is Lost, and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts KHUx video. So, we're going to be talking about the PvP this week, the 5 Keyblades, and I'm going to show you guys my setup and how I've been doing so far. So, yeah, this week in PvP is actually, it's pretty insane, guys. I know it's 5 Keyblades. A lot of people are not a fan of it. Some people are. I've seen some people in the comment section like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool, more rewards and whatnot. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. There is more rewards and whatnot, but at the same time, though, for players like myself, I'm a little short on medals because you can see right here, you know, we got 4 Keyblades all built up, and then we got this one. So it's like, and I mean, I do have an option to for me to create a Keyblade setup with this to maybe do like a triple threat method, but we're gonna talk about that here in just a few minutes. But I want to show you guys my Keyblade setups right now, the Keyblade setups that I have in order, and then an explanation as to why I have said medals on the Keyblade setup. So first Keyblade is going to be Starlight, second one is going to be Olympia, third one is Missing Ink, the fourth one is 3 Wishes, and the last one is our medalist Sleeping Lion. So let's go on and talk about these Keyblades real quick, guys, and give you guys a bit of an explanation as to why I did this setup. So the big reason why I did those Keyblades in order is because of 2 things. One is going to be subslots. Subslots on my Starlight is 2.792. If you go onto Olympia, 2.616. Then when you start going into the single attributes, you're going to start seeing 2.116, 2.267, and 2.116. So you kind of get what I'm trying to say is that my highest subslot Keyblades are going to be the first few that I'm going to be using when it comes to this week's PvP. And I only do that because myself as a player, when I was like super heavy focused on PvP, I would make sure that all of my Keyblades would, 1, have the highest subslots, 2, only focus on doing damage. Now, there is of course another option for you when it comes to creating Keyblade setups for, take example for this week's PvP, is not only going the route of just pure damage, and that's it, pure damage. You know, you got your defense boost in, you know, you got your high damage dealing medals, etc, etc. You got your monster swords in there, because I know everybody has monster swords, and and you know, so on and so forth. But there is also another option that you can do as well. So, aside from the straight damage Keyblade setup, you can also do the triple threat setup, and you can actually do it only once on this. Well, technically, you could do it twice because it will only be healed via your pet trait, or excuse me, your pet skills once. But the thing is that now we have medals that will actually not only buff and debuff the enemy, but they will also dispel whatever status ailment you have on your Keyblade setup. So I'm talking about Kairi and Xion, Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi and Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion. Those are the medals that will do all of those 3 in one medal. So that's like an option right there that you can do as well. So me myself, for this week's PvP, I decided to go the same as I usually did and just go straight up damage dealing. Just, I want to do the most damage that I can, and the only reason why I'm doing it on my JP main account, because on my JP alt account, I'm considering live streaming how I set up my Keyblades and doing PvP live so that you guys can see where in the world my JP alt account is gonna go. So if you guys are down for that, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll save my PvP setups and everything until tomorrow, so that way I can do like my dailies and whatnot, get my weekly PvPs in, etc, etc, and get my rewards. So I decided to go to the strength round because of that, because I know that I'm going to be running into monster swords and whatnot. And this, my main JP account, it does have Zeus, which, you know, if you've been to my live streams, you already know the whole story with that. But it doesn't have the best traits. So I still went ahead and took it with me because that defense break is still could come into clutch, or can come in clutch for me when it comes to situations where it's just like, oh my god, I need to do the most damage that I can against this player who just hit me with Monster Sword or Zeus or all of them together. So we're gonna look at Starlight. You're gonna see right here, my Kairi does not have extra attack, sadly. It has all these awesome better traits except for sleep, but no extra attack. So that's why I have my HD Nominate, which does have extra attack and ground, but ground is not really the, you know, what we're worried about. We just need that extra attack. With that, I will have my max buffs and debuffs. Now, in my third slot, my reverse slot, I do have HD Shion. My HD Shion does have ground and extra attack, and with that, it's going to copy Super Burst, which eventually I'll get it to Super Burst Plus. Super Burst Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora, which this Sora right here, it has ground, it has that pet trait slot at plus 50, and it has gauges and whatnot, so it's not the best traded metal, but it's something. And the only reason why I also went ahead and threw this Sora in here is because I wanted that extra guilt bonus. You guys already know that with the recent Supernova medals, or the medals that you can make into Supernova, they give you that extra guilt bonus whenever you use the Supernova ability. So whenever I'm in a Keyblade fight, whenever I'm in a PvP fight, I want to make sure that I use the Supernova ability once I use Kairi or after I use Kairi, or even in the beginning, for example, with this one, because I don't have the Override Kairi, which is the tier 7 one. So I want to make sure that I do the maximum amount of damage that I can, which of course, once I make this Sora into the Super Burst Plus, I will get some extra damage in there. Now, following with that, we do have Super Burst Plus KR19, which mine, I don't think it's boosted, actually. No, actually mine is boosted. So this is the boosted one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, we'll see. It does have air, ground, 2 plus 1000s, and extra attack. This KR19 I did manage to get before I stopped wailing. So, you know, thankfully it's still doing me good, especially now that it is the plus version. So it's definitely going to do some extra damage with that 200 multiplier against the enemies. And then after that, on my pet slot, since I don't want to go too crazy and I want to make sure that I spread out my best medals between the top 3 Keyblades that I'm using, I went ahead and threw in my VVB, which was the high score challenge reward back in, I don't know, like November, October, somewhere around there last year. So this VV right here, perfect traits for PvP. Extra attack 2 plus 1000s. If I do manage to get either extra attack 120 or plus 2k, this VV is gonna do some work. So it would be nice to have a Supernova ability for old high school challenge medals. I think that would be fantastic, because it'll probably help me out a little bit. But you know, to each their own. You know, we wish for one thing and well, we get something else. So, but I went ahead and threw VV in there because the multiplier for VV at 12.58 to 16.08 is a very strong multiplier. So it's kind of a replacement to Supernova medals, but you know, it's not the best. Of course, you would want to have Supernova on top of old high school challenge medals. So that's it for my Starlight Keyblade. Next, we have Olympia. Olympia, again, is the second strongest Keyblade, subslot Keyblade that I have for this week's PvP Keyblade. So, first medal that you have right here is going to be the Terra medal, which is the stained glass number 7. Now, these stained glasses, they have the override ability, except for stained glasses before this. So I think after stained glass number 7, they are all overrides. So anything before that, I believe, don't have overrides. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. But I went ahead and threw this one on there because this Keyblade is mainly focused around Zeus, because Zeus is an upright power medal. Now, as you can see right here, Terra, then we have a Kairi on there, of course, to try to get the max debuffs, buffs, etc., etc. when it comes to power specifically, and of course upright. Then we have my Axel on there, which is the copy medal that copies the medal ahead of it, which I have not leveled up yet. Whoops. So we have that one. Then of course we got the Zeus, which is Zeus right here. Yeah, not the best traits in the world. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Then we have a copy medal, which is KR Bond, which copies the medal, which is going to be Zeus. And this KR Bond does have air and extra attack. So I want to take advantage when it comes to this Keyblade setup of trying to get that defense break to kick in so that I can do some extra damage. Not only that though, but afterwards we do have Prime Cloud, which is a very old medal. And again, I could have the option of putting any of the other Super Burst medals that I do have to try to get a little bit damage in, but this Cloud does have fantastic traits of plus 3k and extra attack and an air, which air doesn't really matter in PvP. So that's my Keyblade setup here. Now, if anybody is wondering, why not put Olympia first instead of Starlight? because of the traits. The traits is what kills me when it comes to this specific Keyblade setup. Not only that though, but the thing is with countering against players who has the triple threat setup, where they have triple threat or just any type of status ailment in the first Keyblade setup, and then they do it again on the second Keyblade setup with Zeus. Zeus has the override ability, and with that I'll have my max buffs and debuffs related to power, so that way I'll be able to do some damage and maybe potentially have a chance to beat their setup and beat them in that round. So that's why I decided to have Olympia in the second that's why I decided to have Olympia as my second Keyblade for this week's PvP. So that's it for that when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm just repeating words here. Anyways, Missing Egg is going to be my third one. You guys already saw the sub slot 2.116, same as my Sleeping Lion. We have Xion here. We have the Copy Medal, which does not have extra attack, but that is fine because once I start going onto my speed medals, all of these speed medals are going to give me those last little bit of buffs and debuffs that I need related to speed. So I do have my Super Burst Replica Riku, which does have the best traits: extra attack, air grind, and 2 plus 1000s. Then we do have Zack B, which is another high score challenge medal, which does have extra attack, ground, and gauges. Gauges definitely helps out when it comes to the missing a Keyblade because of the low gauge count. Then we do have Marluxia, which is one of the organization members' medals that we went for, and this one right here has plus 3k. So if your boy were to get extra attack, Marluxia would do a massive amount of damage, which he does pretty good damage right now. So that's why I decided to throw him in there and put him in the 5th slot. And then for the pet slot, we do have my Super Burst Kingdom Hearts Vanitas, which hopefully eventually I'll get that to Super Burst Plus. This medal, when it comes to traits, is more focused on rating, but I decided to throw it in there because one of that guilt bonus that gives me that extra 200% boost. Not only that, but it gives me that extra little damage with its Super Burst attack, so that's why I have it on there. Now, 3 wishes, sub slot 2.267, so it's a pretty high when it comes to just magic medals in general. With this Keyblade setup, it's a little funky, right? And I decided to keep it this way because I honestly, you know, I was starting to get short on strong magic medals in general. So I do have Kairi, which does have the override option, but not only that, but this one does also have defense boost 4 on it. I don't have much medals that have defense boost 5, so I just went ahead and threw that in there to have that defense boost, because if I don't, I'm gonna get destroyed and they're gonna get an easy win. Then of course we have Xion. Xion, this one does not have extra attack. This is basically like a fresh, clean Xion that I recently pulled. Then we do have Prime Roxas. This Prime Roxas has definitely helped me out in PvP fights in the past. 3k strength, aerial, and extra attack. Now we go on in. We got our Copy Medal Nominate. This is another copy that I do have, which has extra attack and plus 1000. And this Nominate is boosted, so that extra damage helps a lot. Which is copying my Super Burst Plus Young Master Xehanort, which this medal right here, it has extra attack. The rest of the traits, they're not really, I mean, they're not, you know, the best traits for PvP, but it's something. Because 1, that guilt bonus, 2, extra attack, and then of course the supernova attack will give me that extra little bit of damage in hopes that I can actually win the round. So that's it for that. And then of course the pet slots, I do have Prime Maleficent, which is a tier 5 medal, and I went ahead and threw this one in there because it does have extra attack, ground, 2 plus 1000, and engages, which will definitely help me out as well. And then of course with with Sleeping Lion, it is an empty Keyblade, but I do have the option to actually make this into a potential Keyblade where it'll have a what is it? I can use it to inflict any type of status ailment, whether it be poison, sleep, or paralysis, or the triple threat. Just either or. Now, the Keyblade setups you saw right there, I have it in an order right, but since I'm short on medals, I could have another option to do this, where I can throw in a medal into this into this Keyblade setup, like take example, if I were to take away Nominee, right? I could throw in a medal like say Baymax with triple threats, who will not only give me a little bit of buffs, but it'll also inflict a status ailment onto the enemy, and then they will have their pets clear that off for them. And then we can have Sleeping Lion on the as a second Keyblade, which also has the status ailment, and then bam, you know, they can either be paralyzed or sleeping depending on how you set up your Keyblade and whatnot. Now you could do this as well with, say, if we were to put Olympia as a third slot, and let's say that the three wishes Keyblade were to be another Keyblade that has basically the same setup as Sleeping Lion, where you have the triple threat setup on it as well. So that's kind of like another option that you could do when it comes to this week's PvP Keyblade. So not only that though, guys, I know that it's going to be a big issue when it comes to defense boost, because I know not everybody is going to have the big amount of defense boost. Not everybody's going to have the big amount of buffing medals, debuffing medals, so just like medals in general that is going to do the maximum amount of damage to be able to win the round. So it's going to be a little tough. That's why, you know, triple threat is a good option to do when it comes to this week's PvP, or you could do what I'm doing and just go with straight power on your top 3 or even 4 Keyblades, depending on what metas that you have. So it's gonna be interesting where I see myself go when it comes to my main account, seeing as how it does not have any of the most recent medals except for Zeus. So Zeus is gonna give me a little bit of an edge, but seeing as how everybody has monster swords like crazy, I don't see myself getting too far. But if I do manage to rank pretty good ranking, and hey, platinum tickets for future medals that I can make into Superverse Plus. So especially now that they are doing old EX medals and making them into power for Superverse medals. So you never know, we could start seeing more in the future where some of the old medals that we used to have could potentially be stronger again. So but either way, so that's gonna be it for this video. Again, if you guys want me to live stream my PvP Keyblades, you know, making my Keyblade setups for my JP Out account, and then of course fighting through PvP, I can do that. Let me know in the comment section below, and I will live stream that tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully this kind of give you an idea as to how you could set up your Keyblades to try to get the best ranking possible, and hopefully you don't run into somebody that has like 20 monster swords. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all the love and support as always, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for some future Union Cross content. I will catch you guys in my next video.